This is this one, right? Yeah.
I pressed the button, so I wasn't sure. Did I turn it on or did I turn it off?
It's on.
Okay. Still turn it on? Zoe?
It's on.
Oh. Oh, okay.
There's one here. Usually put it, yeah, right inside.
Door is just hard to pull open. It's not, it's not, you know, it's just
Yeah.
like the,
You should be able to reach it. Usually, like, I put it
yeah.
Yeah,
I can get the box dancing, but I don't want to run.
yeah. Where does this go? We can just put it for the thank you.
You're supposed to.
Which one is which were this one is facing that. So do you want we don't have enough outlets.
Well, I feel like sometimes I put it just like for like the overall saga. You know what I mean?
So is that one for the podium?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's an outlet. Oh, yeah. Guess you can see everyone. Oh, so it starts, you gotta put the sound on it. Just press that button. Yeah. We're good. I think that's it, right? It must be on right now. Oh. Okay. Looks like they're just on. Should it just be this person, or should it be
And
kind
if anybody comes by this way, just kind of tap them and say,
of record my
yeah.
There, she sometimes, like, well, I don't know. Sometimes I have done it where, you know, you crop it.
Yeah.
So sometimes I, like, crop it there, just crop it down here. Just in case.
I think she's gonna be right here because last time she was right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just see. And I'm wondering if we still have any of those kids. Somewhere and somebody else thinks it's lost. Good job, good job. We have 8 minutes to spare. Maybe I'll go see if there's anybody out there. Maybe there's somebody else is taking it over. Yeah.
When we had the break, and
Yeah. Okay.
That seems to be the best way to go. Somebody said that they sent their stuff in here.
Hi.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you? Did you some things being in English again?
Huh?
You're getting used to things being in English again?
Say that again?
Are you getting used to things being in English again?
You know, I still find myself saying some German words. You know, like und. See, I just didn't.
It makes you feel any better. I had my Japanese lesson yesterday, so when you asked me how I was, I almost said, "Yo got the desk."
Oh, maybe I'll try to. I'll sometimes say escape the heat or yeah, this is stupid lager. Huh? Oh, that's okay. I brought it in with me. I pretend to speak German. Huh?
Just when she, her plates for Monday. Oh, yeah. We're adults now.
Who's doing Concho?
I can do it.
I'd say go for it. It's 10:30. Everybody's ready.
Just like not to. Everything's so tentative right now.
Whoa! Hi.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Can you hear me? No.
Power strip. Power strip.
Hello. Hello. Yes. Okay. Good morning. Welcome to today's service. We're lucky enough to have Reverend Irene Goto here from Seattle for our August Show Suki Hoyo. Please Gosh show in opening meditation. Just as rain falls on all vegetation, so Buddha's compassion extends equally to all people. But just as different plants receive particular benefits from the same rain, so people of different nature and circumstances are blessed by different methods. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So this morning, Reverend Irene will lead us with Sanbu Jo on page 22, followed by chanting of Jusege on page 23, During the chanting of Jusege, I will read the names of for the month of August, and families may come up for Oshoko at that time.
Yogaku, aspiration. In the presence of the Amida Tathagata, the embodiment of great wisdom and compassion, we at White River Buddhist Temple have gathered to observe the Shochiho Koyo, perpetual memorial service in remembrance of our deceased loved ones. In reflecting on the ephemeral nature of life, like lightning and morning dew, we see that in our attachment to things in self-love, we are born alone, we die alone, and in the comings and goings of everyday life, we are essentially alone. Encountering the impermanence of life, where we are made to see self-delusion and a contrasting light of truth that sustains us. August 7, 2022. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo 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 Namo.
Tomi Tsuji, Shizue Hirose, Hikozu Kawasaki, Harumi Carol Ikuta, Suki Tanaka, Haru Ikuta, Morito Nishimoto, Misuno Nishimoto, Shiro Murashige, Oshie Kiyota, Zentaro Tom Maikawa, Mikio Mori, George Shikao Uchida, Tsutsumu Clifford Hayashi, Alice Kazuko Arita, Lorraine K. Mikami, Masami Arima, James Komodo, Ben Teraoka, Please rise if you are able for the reading of the three treasures on page 3, followed by the Gatha Seya on page 163. The three treasures. Fortunate is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Rare is it to encounter the teachings of the Buddha. Now we hear it. If we do not seek the truth of the Dharma in this life, in what life shall we find it? Let us reverently take the refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken within us our highest aspiration. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the Dharma and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in a life of harmony, in a spirit of universal brotherhood, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriad of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful teaching. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Very nice. Please be seated. We will now have a Dharma message from Reverend Irene Goto.
Is it okay to take off my mask?
Yes.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you all for joining White River Buddhist Temple's Shotsuki Hoyo for August. I welcome also those of you who are joining us online this morning. Welcome. Today is August 7th, 2022. My name is Irene Goto, Minister's Assistant, one of them at Seattle Betsmead Buddhist Temple. And I'm I'm very pleased to be here with you again today. Please join me and listen reverently to words from Master Shinran's collection of passages revealing the true realization of the Pure Land Way. When foolish beings, possessed of blind passions, the multitudes caught in birth and death, and defiled by evil karma, realize the mind and practice that Amida directs to them for their going forth. They immediately join the truly settled of the Mahayana. Because they dwell among truly settled, they necessarily attain nirvana. To necessarily attain nirvana is to attain eternal bliss. Eternal bliss is ultimate tranquility. Tranquility is supreme nirvana. Supreme nirvana is uncreated Dharma body. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Shotsuki Hoyo is the monthly observance, a memorial service sponsored by this temple in memory of members who have passed on during the month of August. I would like to share my thoughts of why we Shin Buddhists seem to have so many memorial services. Memorial services remind us of death. Shouldn't we dwell more on living here, today, in the now? Last Sunday, Ruth talked about what life is, how every living thing tries to keep living. Every living thing wants to live. She was almost in a terrible car accident, missed by inches, almost ending her life. Because of that brush with death, she talked about life. Her talk made me think about the subject of death and how it makes me more aware of how to live. Today, while I'm living, I can still think about death, and death reminds me to live. Ruth cited Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom on how the more prepared we are to die, the more we know how to live. In other words, if we are prepared to die, we don't take our lives for granted. I've taken for granted how important it is to spend time with my brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews, because as my mother reminded me, and my siblings often, she said, you have to be ready to die anytime. When my children were young, I was possessed of blind passions. When my children were young, our families got together often for each other's birthdays and other celebrations. As the children got older, and they now have children of their own, and other sets of grandparents, and other cousins, and aunts and uncles and friends, and perhaps they live further away now, they have become possessed of their own blind passions. So life gets complicated and time becomes more precious. We need time to plan, time to travel, and time to get together, time to be possessed of blind passions. As my children's lives become involved with their work and extended families, I seem to see them less than I would like, and I see them less than I should. These last 2.5 years have been a particularly difficult time to say goodbye to loved ones we have lost. Your loved ones, names on this month's memorial list, are those of your mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles, cousins and friends. My husband and I each lost a cousin to COVID. Funeral memorial services were not held. The losses you may have experienced were perhaps extra empty, being unable to gather and say goodbye. And for the dying, their death may have been lonely, unable to have loved ones by their sides. I regret not spending more time with my cousin and uncle, but I do appreciate my mother telling us, "You have to be ready to die anytime." Because of her reminder, I think I try to treat others kindly while they are living. While my mother was alive, I don't think I took her admonishment very seriously. But just her telling us, you have to be ready to die anytime, a seed was planted in me to think about my mortality and to be grateful to be living. COVID also is a seed that tells me you have to be ready to die anytime. I imagine for those who died and those who survived during the last 2.5 years must have been especially terrible. They were terrible because of the restrictions that COVID put on us all. Although the restrictions have been loosened for most of us, for hospitalized patients and staff, restrictions are still practiced. Visitors and staff must be screened and wear masks. And if there has been known COVID exposure, both staff and visitors are required to gown up. And the number of visitors per day and length of visiting time is restricted. These restrictions take away our freedoms to visit freely and to be with loved ones when they need us most. It might sound as if my mother's mantra was, "You have to be ready to die anytime," but it wasn't. Her mantra was, "Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu." I believe she was assured that she would go to the Pure Land and have no more troubles after she died. She passed away 16 years ago with her children by her side. I remember that when our mother died, one brother said, "One thing Mom really taught us, or taught me, was to be humble." And that humility, the bono or foolish being in me, tries to remind me to treat everyone with loving kindness as one human being to another. I miss Mom's delicious onishime. One brother learned to make it like she did. Another brother just yesterday asked, "What did Mom put into her salad dressing that she used to make?" I look at old photos and I say, I love that coat Mom made for me. Mom, as she neared the end of her life with us, reminisced about her childhood. She reverted to Japanese, her first language. She was pretty clear to the end, and she seemed to be at peace. My mother was Jodo Shinshu, Shin Buddhist, and I think you could say quite religious. I believe that she was able to realize the mind and practice that Amida directs toward her for going forth and joined the truly settled. It is because, she said, you have to be ready to die anytime, and Namo Amida Butsu. I try to appreciate the sincere mind, deep mind, and the aspiring mind that Amida directs to me for my going forth. And I hope I will join the truly settled if I can just accept and just receive. With the passing of my loved ones, I realize that death comes at any time. There is no time to squander. I should live life fuller while I'm living. I can try to reconnect with my family, my children, my siblings, and their families more. I have no excuse. Most of them live close by. I do have time, even though I seem to be busy all the time. I can't let expense of fuel and transportation deter me. I can tell my children stories of my past, give motherly advice, whether solicited or not. COVID has kept me homebound more, but I have found ways to connect via the internet and cell phone, and I can continue to be innovative, maybe revive old means like letter writing and telephone calling. Your way of living life fuller will be different from mine, but we must keep living. You have to be ready to die anytime. I can give hugs more freely than I do while wearing a mask. Although it seems like we have many memorial services and we seem to dwell on death, I think the reminders come from Amida Buddha, and the reminders allow us, the reminders urge us to live this life that we have been gifted. For those of you who are mourning the loss of a loved one, whether long ago or in the recent past, my sincere condolences for your loss. The depth of your sorrow is a measure of your love for them. I hope you will allow Amida Buddha to realize his mind of great compassion and wisdom so that you may go forth and join the truly settled. Please join me once more for the words of Master Shinan from the collection of passages revealing the true realization of the Pure Land Way. When foolish beings possessed of blind passions, the multitudes caught in birth and death, and defiled by evil karma, realize the mind and practice that Amida directs to them for their going forth, they immediately join the truly settled of the Mahayana. Because they dwell among the truly settled, they necessarily attain nirvana. To necessarily attain nirvana is to attain eternal bliss. Eternal bliss is ultimate tranquility. Tranquility is supreme nirvana. Supreme nirvana is uncreated Dharma body. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Thank you for listening, and stay safe and enjoy living.
Thank you, Reverend Irene, for your heartfelt message. I think we can all relate one way or another to your message today. Next, please rise if you are able for the Gatha Ondoku-san 2 on page 153, and remain standing for the reading of the Daily Creed of Jodo Shinshu on page 8. Page 8. The Daily Creed of Jodo Shinshu. Realizing enlightenment is assured, and reciting the Nambutsu, I shall live my life cheerfully and positively, understanding the oneness of life and cultivating self-reflection. I shall diligently attend to my life's tasks in gratitude. Recognizing the Dharma path, I shall help spread the teachings of the Buddha. Appreciating the Buddha Dharma, I shall respect and help others, working for the good of society. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Please be seated. Well, I lost my program, but are there any announcements? Or guests? I see a little hand waving in the back. Okay. Ignore the little hand. Any other announcements for today?
No, there's no service. Oh, yes.
Just a reminder that this is the last service until September 11th. Will be Sunday after Labor Day will be our next service. So everybody has the rest of the month of August off. So be safe, and I think there's probably going to be a bazaar meeting sometime before September 11th, since that'll be in October. So thank you.
Since we'll be away from the temple for a while, just wanted to remind everyone that that convention will be in person this year. It will be hybrid, but they have an in-person option, and it's going to be in Ontario, Oregon. And we really encourage everyone, if you'd like to attend in person, to do so. There will be more information coming soon. So look in your email, or you can contact me if you have any questions.
Thank you everyone for attending today's service. If you have not already, please come up and Oshoko and have a good day. Bye.